And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. It's Sunday afternoon. It's really nice out there, albeit pretty hot. Tyler, how you doing?
Blessed and busy, my friend. Blessed and busy. You and I both had separate recordings earlier today. We were talking about how, I don't know if it's a teacher thing or a podcaster thing or maybe both, but Sunday afternoons just fly by. Yeah. It's 11 a.m. You're ready to conquer the day. Then it's 1, then it's 3, then it's 5. And you check some boxes, but you know, it's important to like not get too in your head about, oh my gosh, how did the day go on? Am I going to be ready for Monday? I'm feeling so great because I am with you. I know you had a great recording earlier, as did I. This is a beautiful life that we've chosen to live. And I know we have a lot to discuss on this episode. Of course, we're going to talk the week in WWE. I got a really good question for you. We're going to prepare for AEW All in London 2. We're going to talk Batch. I sent you a few clips. This might be the best Batch segment of the season for us. I'm just going to put it out there.
I hope so.
I know you have a segment, maybe a promo, maybe gratitude, maybe both. I don't even know.
Well, I got a segue plan.
We're just going to have to see. We're going to talk 19 media. So, Brad, all in all, blessed and busy, doing great. Of course, happy to see you. How are you, bro?
Same, man. Every time I see you putting in work, I'm just so proud of you with what you're doing for 4AZ. Please check it out. Anywhere you find anything, just Google 4AZ. You're going to find your stuff. That's where I'm at today. It's like you can do the work. You know how this works. You know how the internet works. GimmickInfringementPod.com. Just look up Gimmick Infringement. I'm sure we're there. You'll find it.
We're the first search result. Have I told you that? If you search Gimmick Infringement.
Thank you, SEO shout out.
That's right.
Really put the work in there. So, I am excited about these questions, but I'm strangely, first week of school was great. Second week of school was really good. I do have a bit of a promo later on, but we're gonna pivot a little bit. I know you have some things to talk about, and I know we texted each other about this. I did watch the video clips you sent me. Let's get into it. Let's play the music. It's time for another edition of A Rose from Tyler.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
I can't conceal my excitement. Not that I ever would, Brad, especially when we hit the record button, but there's something special that we have in store right now. It's time. Let's talk Batch. Bear with me. We saw one of the most consequential episodes of the season. This all went down in Seattle. Spencer, the pet portrait entrepreneur, was eliminated. I thought he would get bounced on night 1, but he proved me and many of us wrong. Grant, the basketball player turned day trader, did not receive a rose, much to the chagrin of all the women in my life who watch the show. However, he's been named the next Bachelor, only the second black male lead in franchise history. However, Brad Winchester, Sam had the most epic exit last week. I called it. Sam's heel turn was on full display. In case you missed it, Jenn had a date with Sam and several of the guys. This is the clip I sent Brad, which included an interview with a radio station. Sam received the only one-on-one interview with Jenn. The radio host asked why Sam is smitten with Jenn, and Jenn's fear was gradually, painfully proven true. Sam ain't the one. He love-bombed her throughout the season. This weighed on Jenn's mind throughout the episode, concluding with her visiting Sam's room near the show's end. Finally, Jenn expressed her concern repeatedly, asking Sam for specifics about why she was the one, why she is the one. Sam said they, quote, have a ferocious love and their connection is undeniable, but failed to provide specifics. It was painful. It was inevitable. We ate well last week. Jenn did not give Sam a rose. Brad, here's my question for you. Imagine you are one of Sam's close friends in South Carolina.
Hard to imagine, yes. Go on.
Following this epic meltdown, he asks for your advice. You're happily married, continuing to build a life with your best friend. What advice would you give him as he pursues a new relationship?
Well, I'd have to do research. That'd be the first thing I'd do, is figure out what is the best monastery for this man to go to forever, and just mail it in. He has no hope. The second one, if that doesn't work, is consult the psychologist to have his narcissistic personality disorder diagnosed, so he can begin addressing it. I sent you this text, one of many. Dude has Trump level articulation skills, was number one. I've never seen anybody talk around stuff so eloquently before, so masterfully. It's like, well, how do you feel about her? Well, it's just energy. There's all these energies that are big, and they collide together, you know, and it's like it was destiny, and it's love, and it was energetic. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You have anything to say, anything to add to this at all? And then when they asked, like, what is your feeling toward Jenn? He talked about himself. The whole time he was just like, well, I feel. I was like, all you know are the pronouns that pertain to you. And that's it. None of the other ones. You don't know how they work. Guys got to work on acknowledging other people and not only worrying about how other people make him feel, because it is a reciprocal relationship. Sometimes you have to do the thing you don't want to do in other, in order for that other person in your life that means a lot to you, or more to you than anybody else, to make them happy. It's called sacrifice. Here's the cool thing about sacrifice in a relationship that I have learned, is that a lot of the time when you sacrifice that thing for somebody else's well-being, or for somebody else's happiness, it in turn makes you happy to see them happy and know that you've given them that. So there's never a moment in that's not a little bit selfish, where you get something from it. Maybe it's not as big as the thing you wanted, but that thing that you've given that makes you feel good, I think it's not that it makes you feel good. I think it's that you're feeling that stronger connection between the two of you because of what you've given. And then you can reciprocate it. Right now, he's not reciprocating anything. He's just taking. My advice would be, stop taking, start giving. It's good. It's good to give. As we've said 1,000 times before, it's so easy to be kind.
It's free. Doesn't take much. Doesn't require
cost
much.
No money.
Goes a long way.
Cost no money. Yeah, man, I don't have much to add other than that. Let me see what else I said. I said
there was a lot.
Well, I called him a name. This dude is amazingly narcissistic. He said, I, my, and me over and over and again. What a lame. Had to shut it off. How do you fumble so badly? And then I thought of this, because Tyler, I'm going to put this back on you now. Okay. The people that might be scooping up all the ladies, I think they're like the Sam character. And all the good ones get brushed aside because it's like, I don't want that. I want somebody super duper assertive all the time. Well, a lot of these assertive guys are just pricks. They're assertive for them, not assertive because, wow, that's the thing I really want. So when people are kind, compassionate, understanding, and giving, it can be misconstrued as I'm indifferent. And I feel like that's why such a great guy like one Tyler McDowell Blanken has been overlooked. It could also be because you're waiting for her to text, and it should be you. But but it could be the other thing.
It's probably that. That was a great setup. Like any good storyteller, you had it ready to go, and you built
I was thinking about that.
There
the
was a clear beginning,
time.
and there was a clear end. Oh my gosh, you must have taught. You must be an English teacher.
Yeah, I'm proud.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Continue to cook, please. I'm all in.
No, I don't have anything else. That was it. My voice. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I've been struggling for a whole week because I feel like I've been talking since Monday with no breaks.
Yeah.
And yesterday I wasn't talking, but I was swearing a lot at my bike. And I had to pull myself back. The medication thing, I've noticed, has really helped me manage that. And yesterday I was like, Saturday, I don't need to take that. And then I'm in my garage wanting to fight a bicycle. So I realized that maybe on those days I should be doing that too, because why am I mad at an inanimate object? But problematic. I will send you a picture of the inner tube I tried to install though. Why is one side of it 5 times bigger than the others?
I haven't gotten a picture yet. I heard about this, but I didn't see that.
Rage. But we made it work.
Well, speaking of rage, Brad,
Sam didn't.
Sam did not.
Yeah.
What do I even want to?
I was going to say, speaking of fumbling, sports. I'm trying to.
Yeah, Sam was the.
He can't pick him.
Hey, that's the one. He was the presumptive favorite for most of the season, and he's gone now. Didn't even make it before hometowns. Before we leave this segment, hometown episode this week. Always my favorite episode. 4 contestants left. Want to make sure you know who to look out for. There's Jeremy, Marcus, Devin, and Jonathan. I believe there's a high likelihood that Jenn doesn't pick any of them. But if you're asking me to choose, I'm going to go with Marcus. I think there's a better shot, though, that she leaves. She leaves solo dolo. We'll see, Brad. We got to tune in. I hope Sam hears your advice. We got Golden Bachelorette. First ever coming up next month. Grant as the next Bachelor.
I will be tuning into that. I will be tuning in.
We're eating well. We're eating well, my friend. Just like we are in WWE. Thus, it's that. Oh, no, it isn't. That's what we call a cliffhanger. We're going to eat well with WWE in just a moment. But before then, speaking of entertainment, speaking of what we enjoy watching, consuming, and discussing, Brad, we got to talk about Prize Picks, our favorite sponsor.
Yeah, with you.
Prize Picks. Are you nailing it today?
The synergy is incredible. Like we've never been stronger as a team ever. I think it's because it's later than usual. We both have recorded episodes. I have not had food today. I need to pick something better, but we all need help with picking. Are you ready to elevate your fantasy sports experience with Prize Picks? During the women's basketball season, you can win up to 100 times your money. Imagine turning a $10 entry into a whopping $1,000 entry. May have done that today. Not the $1,000, but the $10. We'll see. From lowering select player stats, I read that wrong. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. You already know women's basketball is on fire with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names alongside greats like Brianna Stewart and Asia Wilson. You could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. I was watching Caitlin Clark ball out the other night, and I had to turn it off because I was angry. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
That it is. Not an easy ad read for us today.
No,
Brad Winchester.
Embrace the mess. Embrace the mess.
We embrace the mess. We appreciate Prize Picks.
Hell yeah.
And their belief in us. And like Brad said, check them out, especially with the second half of the WNBA kicking off. All right, Brad, WWE, let's get right into it. Bron Breakker met the moment once again. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest are the duo I didn't know I needed. Great Damian Priest documentary on Peacock, by the way. Michin reminded us that she should not be slept on. DIY and Street Profits had my favorite match of the week. And Roman Reigns got the brakes beat off him by the new Bloodline. Can confirm they did not acknowledge him.
Great memes.
Let's stick with that strong episode of SmackDown. Several NXT talent were in the audience promoting the brand's forthcoming debut on the CW network in October. In case you missed it, Ethan Page, Roxanne Perez, and Trick Williams made the drive to the arena. Here's my question. If you were the GM of Raw or SmackDown and could poach any NXT roster member tomorrow, who would you choose and why?
So this is a tough one. If I could take a men's and women's, I mean, Roxanne Perez, number one. Number two, honestly, Ethan Page. Oba Femi's right there, but I'm taking Ethan Page for two reasons. Number one, age, and number two, I think he's just the most overall WWE ready, whatever that means, guy. But like, you can hand him a microphone and it's going to go well. You can put him in the ring and it's going to go well. Oba Femi, you can put him in the ring and it's going to go well. How well do you feel that? Do you feel that way on a microphone? Right now with Oba Femi on the main roster, I think you put him in a feud with somebody like Punk or Drew or somebody like that, and they're going to eat him, and it's not going to be pretty. Where Ethan Page, I think he can hold his own and really reciprocate that energy. I think I've never said reciprocate more on a show in my life, but Roxanne Perez, I think, would just be great on the main roster. There's a ton of people on there that I really love. Sol Ruca, I love Sol Ruca. So there's a lot of people on there, but right now, these are the people I want to see. I'd say I'd poach both of them. I put Ethan Page on SmackDown and Roxanne Perez on Raw.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Trick Willie. No Trick Williams? Is he third for you?
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I don't know.
Wow.
What does he bring that's not already up there? I think what happened to him, and this is maybe me having to get over the hurdle in my head, is he was with Carmelo Hayes way too long. And I just have like word association with him. You say Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes is in my head, and he's there and he's doing really cool stuff with Andrade. Like the Andrade stuff was great, but I don't know that he's doing anything that's gonna, like, I don't know what would be different about how he's being presented right now, because he's there doing really cool matches and stuff, but I'm not like, did you see this Carmelo program that's going on? I'm like, I'm not really excited about it. I'm excited about his matches, but
yeah, he finally picked up a win against Andrade, so
good
progress.
I'm just afraid that Trick Williams is going to go in there, do matches for a year on Dark, and in a feudless, storyless program with somebody, be the speed champion and then disappear for a while. Otherwise I would put him in there right now. If Carmelo wasn't there and if they were doing better, well, let's say it like it was, or say it like it is. If they were doing better by the black talent on the roster, I would be more apt to be like, yes. Saying, I mean, right. You just brought up a great tag match from this week, but
Profits also won.
But there's also just posing for some of our favorite stars.
Exactly. And we're, so really there are four main names here. Roxanne Perez, I agree with you, Brad, is the given on the women's side of things. She's been ready. We all know she's the prodigy for a reason. Like she is going to have an uber successful career on the main roster. And it was already just a natural fit to see her on SmackDown. She belongs. She's going to be phenomenal. It's just a matter of, okay, is Julia or is Stephanie Vaquer going to be the one to dethrone her? And then Roxanne's going to be set, whether that's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Yeah, and she's still, I mean, she's young. She has the best is yet to be seen from her. In WWE,
before you say anything else, I would have, but he's not signed. I would have taken Joe Hendry in a heartbeat.
Joe Hendry, eventual WWE signing.
Joe Hendry, I think, won't main roster anything. Eventual WWE signing until he's going to be one of the surprises at the Rumble. And definitely that stadium is going to explode.
That's the moment for sure.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be the one. Yeah.
On the men's side, well, it's interesting you mentioned, because that's been a conversation in the community of black talent on the main roster, especially in the main event scene, with Lashley officially exiting the company along with MVP. Who is there right now? Who's at that level? There's not really anyone. Trick Williams certainly has a huge upside. I believe he's going to take the title back from Ethan Page at some point later this year. Maybe it'll be a CW special, but he's not my pick. You make a strong case for Ethan Page. Who is most ready for the main roster? Who's going to fit like a glove? Certainly he's that dude. He's next. He makes all the sense in the world. Brad, I saw Oba Femi defeat Otis on NXT. It wasn't wild. It wasn't my favorite Otis or Oba Femi match in their respective careers to date, but it was a strong performance from both guys. to me, it was a reminder that Oba Femi, I think he's really leapfrogged Trick Williams in terms of who is the young talent in developmental right now, who is going to be a future
100%.
world champion. If you were to ask me this back at the start of summer, I would have said, oh, that's Trick Williams' spot. He's one of the most overacts in all of wrestling. But Oba Femi, from presence, from in-ring ability, from improving mic skills, as you mentioned, not there yet, but definitely improving. Oba Femi, to me, is a future WrestleMania main eventer.
100%.
He is that dude. He would be my pick, but you make a very compelling case for Ethan Page. He could be ready tomorrow, no doubt.
Not bad at that.
To me, on the main roster, Oba Femi has a higher ceiling than Ethan Page. I worry that when Ethan Page gets there, it's giving LA Knight.
Yes.
We're going to cap you at a certain level, whether that's due to age
Great point.
or...
It's a great point.
Right. I can even think of someone who kind of reminds me of Ethan Page. EC3 back in the day. Mic skills, look, checks all these boxes, and then you get to the main roster and it wasn't what we had hoped for. I certainly hope Ethan Page has a much longer career in WWE than EC3 did. And granted, there was out of the ring stuff or accusations going on. But Ethan Page is going to be great. I just hope that he's not capped at, say, the U.S. title. Completely
agree with you, man. Oba Femi does bring something completely different to the table too. It's just I don't know where I'd be afraid of them. They tend to go like, let's just get all the hosses in a room and have hoss fests and also never do anything with them. Like Big Bronson Reed, I'm the next big thing. I'm going to do all these things. I'm doing this, like never on pay-per-views. He's always left off of these things. Yeah. And it drives me crazy.
Omos's run. There were highs, but he kind of did a lot of nothing and lost all the big matches. Remember, he was tag team champs with AJ Styles. And then from there, I mean, we even saw him in Tucson at a house show, which was really fun.
Yeah.
When MVP was with him. But to me, what WWE, and this is a totally different tenure, totally different management now in WWE, obviously since Vince being gone, thank the Lord. To me, what they wanted from Omos and kind of the excitement for him, I think Oba Femi could slide in and be that dominant monster on Monday nights or on Friday nights. I'm not saying all black talent are monolith by any means, but to me, he could be that next monster who I don't want to see Oba Femi in the tag team. I want to see him singles gold, main event Jones. A year from now, this is going to become a reality. I could see it. I don't even think he needs to stay in NXT to become the main champion. He's that unique case of he's North American champion now, but when he drops it, I believe to Javon Evans at some point, I want Oba Femi main roster bound from there. I don't think we need to see him chase the main title in NXT.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, Tyler, Fanatics Fest was this weekend. There were interviews, meet and greets, entrances, and entrance experiences. Triple H's entrance was awesome. Came out, did the water thing, did the full thing. Selling merch, doing all the things. To me, it felt like an all-star weekend. If they continue this event once or twice a year, what would you like to see from this event, and what can they learn from other sports?
No Hulk Hogan, number one. Number two, I saw him on there and I'm like, I guess there's still a market for him. I don't know who exactly that market, if it's younger kids, if it's older folks who bring their younger kids. But regardless, in all seriousness, I would say a live stream element would be great. I love what they do at the press conferences before SmackDown, before a pay-per-view weekend. I really enjoy, I know the next one coming up will be Bash in Berlin, the kind of sports-like feel of a press conference where the talent come out and they really hype up the event. I love that. I would love to see it live streamed in some way for people, let's say, who aren't in New York to check it out. Exclusive merchandise would be cool. I'm not sure if that's available currently on Shop or if it's more of a way to get folks there in New York. But if there were exclusive merchandise being offered online, that would be sick. And yeah, what they've done with celebrity integration has been phenomenal. I saw a clip that Rey Mysterio mentioned Travis Scott, and there was going to be a tag team match. Or WWE's done so well with crossing over with celebrities.
Yeah,
that is also very prudent for them. I'm not really the market for Travis Scott. I don't quite get his appeal. Maybe that's a hot take, but
no, I'm with you.
It's smart for them to do business in one of the biggest celebrities in all of music. So streaming, exclusive merchandise, and continuing to find those celebrity partnerships. To me, that only increases how big the event feels in scale. It increases eyeballs. It increases partnerships. WWE will continue to be swimming in buckets of money like they're doing now. They're in such a healthy place. What say you?
I completely agree with you, but I would also like to make this like an all-star weekend. I think Fanatics Fest could be really fun if they had skills competitions. So I'm not saying like adding that, but then they don't have to be like you know, who could lift the most. Nothing that's going to create a potential serious injury complication for them, obviously, but like the person who can hit the ropes fastest could be a lot of fun. Like go in there and just bounce back and forth. Is it Bron?
The Bron Breakker Invitational.
Yes. Are we inviting back some Madcap Moss to see if you could beat him?
Madcap
Moss, Bron Breakker, Konosuke Takeshita. Those are the people I want to see who would be faster hitting the ropes.
Brilliant. This is and live stream that. We can combine our ideas.
Yes,
live stream that. For Arizona,
do it on the WWE cock, whatever you got to do. Like you can put it on anything, have it broadcast out there. And I think, yeah, do the merch things. Maybe, I don't know, maybe whoever wins gets to donate to a charity of their choice, or they do the WWE charity, make a wish, whatever. There's a million different things they could do here. And I think TKO could get involved by having like some of their UFC fighters get involved in some of these competitions. If it's not like a fight weekend for them, and like, I don't know, I don't want to use a person that's super problematic, but like it's the UFC, so good luck. So like somebody like Jorge Masvidal comes out and does a skills competition with, I don't know, Andrade, to see who could punt a ball the farthest or something. Who knows? I have no idea what these skills would look like, but I think it'd be a lot more fun to see them in a different light, to prove once and for all how athletic these human beings are, while people continue to say it's all fake and stuff. When you brought up Hulk, my first thought was that feels like it might have been a THQ, like THQ Nordique. Maybe it's a THC. Maybe that's what it is. A TKO decision. Given the way that we know how some of their CEOs and people that run the companies in there, where their politics lie, it wouldn't shock me to be like, hey, let's get the face of the cartoon show that was the RNC this year and put him out there as one of our legends to tell people to take their vitamins and whatnot.
Yeah. Did I tell you I was entertained by that promo as well?
It was a great promo.
I didn't want to be entertained. It was an entertaining promo, but I was like, yeah, this is what I.
It was terrible, but I was like, oh, Hulk Hogan, and this
supporting all the things I vehemently disagree with, but he takes off his shirt, and I'm like, oh man, this dude is still a worker.
Doing the tear was amazing, but it's also one of those things that I'm constantly reminded, as I brought up to Mike Steff recently, that I was watching the 90s, Attitude Era WWF stuff when Shawn Michaels was back as like GM and whatnot, and they had WWF New York, and they were broadcasting from the restaurant place and doing all of those things. Linda McMahon was at the RNC reporting for WWE, and Shawn Michaels was doing reporting for RNC stuff. And that was live. It's like, we don't care what side you're on. We just want you to go out there and vote. And it's like, all right, well, you're only at the RNC. So those are things and ties that are deep rooted in such a Southern built sport with people with lots of money. So of course it's going to have those ties. Frankly, I don't care, but I just want to see them do their work. But I wonder if that had something to do with the Hulk decision to be at FanFest, or if he's really that big of a draw. I can't think of, to your point, like a lot of 10-year-olds are going to be like, Hulk Hogan. They're going to be doing the ones, and they're going to be woe-ohing with the Cody Rhodes merch.
Exactly. Yeah, you already have built-in megastars, but apparently he's still a draw, and there's folks who want to, take pictures with him and get merch signed, and
maybe they love Thunder.
Yeah. If it makes dollars, that. It makes sense for these business folks, right? I don't think your idea is too out of the ordinary. In conclusion, I wonder what the long-term vision is for TKO in terms of integrating UFC and WWE. And this has been speculated amongst the community as well. Could we see a future in which there's just a fight weekend that takes over a city where UFC is on Saturday. I know WWE's really utilized Saturday, so we'd have to kind of workshop this, but UFC is Saturday night,
Right.
and then WWE is Sunday night, or WWE Saturday afternoon, UFC is Saturday night. Like, to me, that's the future of this TKO model, is they're just going to take over cities, whether that be Phoenix, Vegas, New York City. They're a huge entity right now.
Yeah.
And your idea is brilliant. I wonder what the slam dunk equivalent would be for wrestling. You know, slam dunk is always the big one on Saturday night, but like the 3-point equivalent. This could be really fun. I love
promos, a promo off. They have
promo
to cut
off.
I think
That's the one.
Making them cut a promo on something ridiculous. You have 2 minutes. You have to make me want to watch a match between you and a banana or something. Like, just like, you got to cut a promo on I don't know, Patrick Mahomes. Make me want to watch the fight.
Dusty would be proud.
Yeah, I think that would be great, right? And then you have a panel of judges. It's got to be them. It's like, we rate it. Is it funny? Is it not? I think that would be a blast. I would pay money to watch that.
Sign me up. Make sure we stream that.
Oh, well, Tyler, I'm going to lead in here with a promo, but it's time to share some gratitude. So play the music.
And now it's time for a little self-reflection. So, think about yourselves. Or something.
This week, I texted you. Well, I guess I sent you a voice message about working with people and surrounding myself with positivity and trying to stay away from all the negativity. Because I try not to engage anymore, because I know once I engage, it's over. I start becoming negative myself. And my thoughts of, wow, what beautiful clouds today. Look at all these children running around at lunch. And it was lunch. I narrowed down my timeline. And hearing a coworker of mine, a colleague of mine say, what a long day. I can't wait for this day to end. And it's the 7th day of school. And it's the 2nd week. I want to cut a promo on this person and say, like, just quit. Go find something that makes you happy. You shouldn't be here if you're that miserable. If you want to leave on day 7, I don't want to see you on day 177, because you're probably miserable and aren't doing what's best for kids. Now, I want to flip it, though. Instead of saying all those things, I probably could have done a better job of asking what's going on. And I didn't. My brain went right to judgment, because I went, no, look at these clouds. Look at these kids. And I said all that out loud. And I was like, this is awesome. It's the 2nd week of school. Everything is great. And they're like, wow, look at you. Hopefully that made a difference. Maybe that's a thing that happened. I am so grateful to be in a place where I can find the positive. It's not always the case with me. And it's not always the case. Like, even this summer, I had some peaks, some valleys, and it's always a little bit hard for me to pump the brakes, slam on the brakes, really, and then stop what I'm doing. School year ended, boom, flight out to Wisconsin, back. 1 week later, up to Scottsdale for Freya's birthday, lots of stuff for 1 or 2 weeks, whatever it was. Still doing classes, finished the class, big fat nothing burger for July. And that's when things started settling in. And when I don't have anything to do and there's nowhere to go and I don't have purpose, I start feeling kind of bleak. And then the negativity creeps in. And, you know, I was working through some medication stuff for the ADD stuff. And that's part of where the negativity comes from, is I sit there with all the stuff I'm not doing, thinking about it and feeling bad about it. And it snowballs. And lately I've been like, well, no, there's good things. I can be proud of the things that I've done. I can go, yeah, I did that. Is it perfect? No, that's a big growth goal for me, is being okay with it not being perfect. You know me well enough to know that I struggle with going, should I? Behind the scenes here, I made a poster for my classroom, and I sent it to Tyler. He's like, this looks amazing. This is really cool. And it does. I'm really proud of that poster. But the title was slightly off center. And I was almost going to spend an extra $12 to have it reprinted. Because of that, nobody's noticed. Nobody's noticed. It's on my wall. It looks great. Nobody's noticed. But to have, I have wonderful supports built in at my job. I have wonderful supports here. And I can see that now. Instead of going, why aren't they supporting me? I can see that they are. And man, has that mindset change just made all the difference in the world. It's no, I can do this. You can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. And trying to remain positive through it, because like you said to me, which meant the world to me last year, but a little bit more than a year ago, when I was on my floor sobbing into my feces soaked carpet at the school. You can't give them all the bread and just take the crumbs for yourself. I have thought about that every single day since then. Every single day since then. It is always on my mind, and I always have to go, no, just let it go. I don't need to do that. I gotta be me when I get home. And I've tried to pass that on to my students, and I've said a few things. Number one, inattentional blindness just isn't about missing a physical reality. So I paid attention to my phone, so I wasn't looking at the road. That's inattentional blindness. It can happen cognitively and mentally. If I'm only paying attention to the negative, I can miss the positive. But the truth is the same if I flip it. If I'm only paying attention to the positive, I can block out most of that negative. It's just not noticed. And I've been consciously trying to do that. Last thing I'll say, because I'm so grateful that I have this now, and that you've been, if not the most important person in my life for making me get to this point. Outside of my family, my immediate people. I heard Ron McGill say this. He's a zookeeper from Miami, and he's often a guest on the Le Batard show. And he said this before: life is not a count of the breaths you take. It's a count of the moments that take your breath away. And I have been trying to go out into the world with awe and wonder, and find moments every day where I'm like, that is so cool. I didn't know that. And if I can do that and I can find the positive, then I'm going to have a pretty full life. So that, I know that's really close to plagiarizing Jimmy V. I know it. I'm sorry, but damn it, he was right. It's a 35-year-old, 30-year-old speech, and he was right. So I'm grateful for you. I am grateful for this new outlook, and hopefully I can maintain this.
Wow. I love you, man. That was sensational. And it's a privilege to know that I've provided words of wisdom at some point, because you've done that for me countless times and then some. And there's a quote I just want to share before we talk about AEW. I saw this online earlier, and I think it's pretty fitting to what you said. Local counselor and wellness coach Michelle Gaines shared this, so shout out to her. The quote is, "Your energy is a privilege. Be mindful of who has access to it." You're absolutely right. Energy is important, and surrounding yourself with people who not only have similar values to you, but match that energy. It matters, Brad, especially in the work you're doing in education. When it's so easy to look at all of the negatives, it can blind you from seeing the positives and to seeing the difference that you make. I know this gets cliche, but I know the people you've impacted. I've been in the rooms where your name is spoken, and there's just glowing reviews everywhere. So remember that. Don't forget it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
The energy thing is real, man. Like, it's so easy to be kind. When you are kind and you feel that given back to you, you feel energetic. And you do also when you feel upset. And I'm finding like, wow, when I get mad, my whole body gets mad. And how much energy am I spending on this frustration or anger that I don't have to spend if I'm simply not mad? It sounds like the dumbest, most simple thing. Oh, I'm not pissed off. I guess I'm less tired today. Like, it sounds obvious and dumb. People hearing this right now might be thinking like, wow, what a ridiculously syrupy segment you got here. And I'm right. You go do it. And if you can't, you go force yourself to smile in the mirror for 30 seconds.
It matters.
It will happen. Yeah,
it matters.
Absolutely.
Well said. Brad, big week ahead for AEW. I have a question for you. Here is my lead in for us. All In Texas was announced. AEW makes its Texas pay-per-view debut in July at Globe Life Stadium, home of the Rangers. However, I want to ask you about this weekend's All In from London. 4 massive matches headline the show. Will Ospreay versus MJF, Dr. Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné, Mariah May versus Toni Storm, and Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. Two-part question. Which match or moment, potential moment, are you most excited to see? And give us one bold prediction for the show.
I don't know if it's bold to say Jamie Hayter returns, but I'm saying it because I need it. Honestly, out of all of the things that are happening, lots of them are going to have storyline payoffs. Most of them are. They've been building Toni and Mariah forever. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for Mercedes Britt. Obviously, Swerve and Danielson is going to be great. I'm looking forward most. I don't know if you're ready for this. The 4-way trios ladder match.
No kidding. London Ladders.
London Ladders. I can't wait for this. Christian Cage in another ladder match for a championship, for a tag team championship. Granted, it's not tag, it's trios. Four trios tags. That is a lot of humanity in that ring in a ladder match. Have we seen a 12-person ladder match in AEW before? That seems nuts to me. So I am really looking forward to how they play that out. I'm frankly scared because you always save the big moments for the pay-per-views. This is one of their biggest pay-per-views, and they're going to have ladders all over the place with tons of people on them. I think that they have to go all out. I think this is a big night for AEW that is going to dictate a lot of their future. We have All Out, we have All In, we have all these things that are happening, but like this is a big moment. I don't know if that's going to affect their because even I'm finding myself going like, I can catch the stuff on tape. I don't need to watch this live. All their stars are hurt, like gone or hurt. Like they're just all missing. And people are rising to the occasion, but it's like, okay, you're rising, but I don't care about your storyline. The hologram match this week, my God. Oh, electric. Don't care. Electric. Like exciting to see him perform, but I'm not drawn into the story. So it's like, I don't want any of these people to feel like interchangeable parts. And a lot of the times that's what they feel like because there's another person right next to them that can do a lot of the similar things and they can just sort of plug them in where they want without telling that story. And I don't know that American audiences, maybe me, just needs more story. So at the Pape at Wembley, almost everything there has been built on great story foundations. It's the stuff that we're seeing on the other TV product that isn't always story-based or is really haphazardly put together story-based things. So I'm looking forward to these major storylines that have been built for the better part of a year finally paying off. MGF Ospreay, we have so many matches that are going to be just great because the performers are incredible and the storyline's been great. If AEW can start consistently putting both of those things together, and they don't have to be WWE storylines. In fact, I don't want them, but if they could start putting both of them together, my God, sky's the limit for this company. They just need that one little tweak, and I'm ready for it. And I think they do honor the past better than anybody, even WWE. So I can't wait for this ladder match specifically. Maybe Cope shows up as a surprise cameo.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe Christian Cage is getting his ass beat afterward, and Cope shows up to help him. Surprisingly, I doubt it though.
I wonder. My mind is really on, of course, on the 4 matches that we mentioned, but on that Casino Gauntlet match. It's rumored this could be Ricochet's debut.
Man,
I'm of the mindset that Ricochet should win that match. We know the winner gets a guaranteed world title shot.
100%.
My bold prediction, though, to me, it seems like a foregone conclusion that if we don't see Ricochet on Wednesday, we're for sure getting him in London. My bold prediction is one of the 3 wrestlers that we've talked about ad nauseum, Brad, throughout the year, Miro, Ricky Starks, or Keith Lee, we will see them in London for this show. I don't know in what capacity.
And I hope so.
I have to believe. We don't need all 3. That would be amazing. But just one of the 3. I believe we see them on Sunday.
I'd love to see all of them come out as a stable of like the Overlooked or something.
Maybe that,
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds fantastic.
Danhausen is in there.
Danhausen, someone else we've discussed. We have to get one of those 4 guys, and Ricochet would be great.
If Miro's in Bulgaria, he's probably the one. He'd be the closest one, I think. So we'll see what happens. I hope you're right.
Great.
Tyler, there is a reported WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, internal document floating around that was commented on by Dave Meltzer. Looks like it was posted by an ad executive in a Discord server that has been falsified in the past. And Dave has a history of being fooled by the internet. The short version is that WBD value of AEW could be upward of $1.5 billion over 5 years with no change in the pay-per-view model, which means we'll still be paying. If this ends up being true, what does it mean for AEW? And if not, what does it mean for one of the foundational wrestling historians and journalists?
The latter, it continues I wouldn't say I'm a Dave Meltzer historian by any means, but just following the conversation online, he's very polarizing. And at this point, it's not just polarizing because perhaps he favors AEW over other companies, and he's a big star match person, but now it's okay, you have detractors because your stories are inaccurate, your scoops are proven to be untrue. So if it proves to be untrue, to me it's giving, I haven't shared this with you, but I'll say it on our show, is giving Skip Bayless of professional wrestling. And in 2024, I don't know that that's a comparison you want. Now, if this proves to be true, 1.5 billion with the capital B, it's great news for a company that, started 5 years ago. Selfishly, I'm hoping the pay-per-view model goes away. I think Tony Khan and company are so, they're at least in tune enough with the audience to know, man, I think that would do wonders for not only your current customers and fans, but to bring in new people. If it were just available to stream on Max, that would be a huge win. If they continue the pay-per-view model, I know you sent me this, thank you, a la UFC, and UFC is uber successful in their model. I mean, I would still buy them. I just wouldn't be thrilled about it. I want to support the talent and support the company, right? When they come here, we're going to go to their shows, of course, but I've just been so hopeful that this new deal will involve live events being on Max. I just think it would do wonders for their fan base. So if we're sticking with the pay-per-view model, I'm going to be in my feelings.
I'm with you. I have nothing to add there. I'm going to be incredibly sad. I think that I think it's great for AEW to get that kind of valuation from a network, not the valuation for itself, because if you're worth $250 million to the network, then what are you worth in total? So when people were putting AEW at around $1 billion and that was getting laughed at, I don't think that's far off. And if that company could be $1 billion and people are like, oh, it's failing. It's a failing $1 billion company. I don't think it's failing, buddy. I think it's just fine. And I think competition, even though at this point, anybody who calls AEW competition is crazy. We are full alternate mode. If Vince were still in power, we would be talking about competition right now as WWE starts to fold in on lawsuits, as Riddle is its champion and nobody good from NXT is up there and LA Knight is still a manager of MXM. That's what would be happening right now as Adam Cole is Keith Lee's manager on the main roster. I think that it would still be a mess, but it's really hard to be the alternative right now when the thing you're alternative to is doing the things that made you alternative plus what they did that made them great. And they've become this giant monster because of it. They've really figured out the secret recipe. So as loud noises happen behind me, after I sent a text of what are those loud noises, I think we should check in on the state of 19 Media Group. Play the music. Yeah, just hit it. Just hit it.
Late breaking news from the world of 19 Media.
Oh, Tyler. Speaking of Jessica and Carmen are driving headfirst into the madness of small town first days of school on their latest episode of Small Town USA. Join them as they tackle the epic adventures of back-to-school shopping, including a quest for the elusive Disney Princess backpack. You can follow them at Small Town USA Show spelled SHW, on X.
Check out Hidden Gems Golf, 19's official fantasy-based golf podcast. The Mojo King provides picks and analysis like no one else. Mo is also the proprietor of Hip Hop Hidden Gems, a show dedicated to spotlighting some of the greatest songs in the genre's history. He's a busy man. You can follow him at A Power Mojo.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. Mo and Mike Steph dropped a new episode of Hidden Gems Football, previewing the NFC North. Go Packers. You can also check out Mike's weekly show, The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, for passionate commentary on the latest sports, news, political headlines, life in New York, and much more. Follow him at Mike Steffens. That's a PH _
I hear Mike Steph has a very okay.
No. Tyler, we've been on fire today. The state of 19, great shape. The state of us is always next week.
This is true. We have room to improve. I was going to mention though, shout out to Mike and Mo. For Mike, the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, very special guest I hear this week. Check it out.
Yeah, I hear that. They may have gone 3 hours.
That's what the streets be saying. Desmond Powell hosts Hip to the Games, a show dedicated to bridging the love of hip-hop and hoops. He welcomed his twin brother, check this out, Devon, to the show for a special This or That installment as they celebrated their 26th birthdays. You can follow the show at Hip to the Games.
Also check out last week, Tyler and Dez did a WNBA five biggest questions episode. It's great. It gave me an opportunity to think about what Steph Curry would look like on a Skechers billboard. You should absolutely check this out. Join Ricky, Late Night Lake Show host, for the latest news emanating from Tinseltown. He frequently welcomes guests from around basketball media to discuss one of NBA's most notorious franchises, the Los Angeles Lakers. You can follow him at Late Night Lakers.
And speaking of the association, Warren and Cal of the Baseline NBA podcast have you covered with excellent content, even during the off season. In case you missed it, check out their latest They Reminisce episode, reliving Steve Francis's career. They also provide commentary on Team USA's gold medal victory. You can follow them at NBA Baseline.
Speaking of Warren, follow his solo project, Dope Interviews. He welcomes guests from Hollywood, the Hardwood, and more. Made him Dax there. On his latest episode, he sat down with Stacey Milner, founder and CEO of the Entertainment Industry College Outreach Program. Tune in and follow the show at Dope_interviews. Man, I'm glad this segment's not sponsored right now.
And finally, Gerald Brown of Sirius XM hosts Heavy in the Paint, a show that spotlights the stories and careers of notable professionals in the sports world. He welcomed Gary DeCesar, veteran basketball coach, to discuss the state of prep hoops. You can follow Gerald at GeraldBLSS.
Good Lord, man. I don't even know what to add. What did we miss?
We missed two things. Number one, the first presidential debate has been announced for September 10th. And secondly, before that debate occurs, this week, Blink Twice, the new Zoe Kravitz thriller starring her main squeeze, Channing Tatum, comes out this week. We are definitely having the return of G.I. at the movies.
Wow. Next
week. I'm very excited for this film, and it's giving midsummer vibes. I never saw that because I was too scared, but I am definitely going to see this one, and I will let you know how it is the next time we're on air. Brad, what did we miss?
Gable Steveson played for the Bills last week. I had absolutely no idea.
Me neither.
I saw this come across the timeline, and I was shocked by this.
Wow, that's a shoot.
No idea if he's still there or not. I don't know. I guess that's where you land, somewhere around that part of the country if you got allegations. Zack Sabre Jr. won the G1, and Gabe Kidd said New Japan Pro Wrestling is where the best wrestle. I love this conflict. I love that it's just an AEW star, well, I guess ROH, winning the G1, and then Gabe Kidd defending New Japan is the best place to wrestle when somebody not in his company wins. Incredible. I love wrestling. I love pro wrestling.
And I love Gimmick Infringement. And we love all of you. Thank you for tuning in. You can follow us at GIPod19. Follow Brad at Winduster. Check me out at Tyler J. McDowell. And we will see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.